All right, today I am taking a look at Evan Williams single barrel vintage. This has been produced for many years, and it's actually kind of bittersweet because announced about a month ago, this product will no longer be shipped anywhere. It'll only be available at the distillery. But since I've loved this whiskey for so many years, and it's such a classic, and we have just a tiny handful of bottles, in smatterings here and there in stores, I thought I would take a look at it because it's always been a deal. It was premium before premium. It never really went up hugely in price, though I imagine once they take it to the distillery, it probably will go up in price significantly. But it's always been a great deal. It's always been a little bit of a weirdo too, because it's always had a large age statement. So it's vintage dated, so they didn't have like a bold age statement, but you knew it was going to be an 8, 9, 10-year-old. The age statements have gone down in recent years, but this is an 8-year-old single barrel, and then always bottled at 86.6 proof. So why 86 proof? I don't know. I think if you're going to look at competitors to benchmark this against, you'd want to look at Basil Hayden, which was originally had an 8-year age statement and was bottled at 80 proof. So it had a little bit more of a mature oak profile because of the age, but still tasted out pretty sweet because they brought the proof down, and it kind of tamped down that spice a little bit. So, if you were going to have a decanter of whiskey in your house that you were going to serve to guests, I think this would have to be on the very top of that list. 1, affordability. 2, it had that kind of sweet and easily accessible flavor profile for somebody who maybe didn't drink bourbon all the time. But 3, it had a nice age profile to go with the sweetness from the lower proof. So it kind of checked a lot of different boxes, even if it didn't check the super bourbon nerd, barrel proof everything box. Doesn't matter. It's a fantastic whiskey, and it's definitely one worth seeking out and buying the rest of wherever you can get it, or grabbing it, at the distillery when it comes to that. So right on the nose, I get a big hit of like sweet corn, a little bit of fruit, and then just a touch of oak, but really a very predominant, like very traditional sweet corn aroma, which is great. Almost like freshly popped kettle corn you would get at like a farmer's market or something. And then I get a touch of, and it's sort of emerging more, of a nice like sweet spearmint, minty note to it. Great nose. A really rich, chewy oak profile. Very inviting, kind of honey vanilla notes, mid palate. That spearmint comes back, that oak keeps coming back. You can taste the age, but with that proof, it's got such a nice level of sweetness balanced with oak from the age. It's just a very elegant sipping decanter whiskey. It's perfect for that. Probably taken for granted for many years. I think this is, and this is also a Heaven Hill item, but this is very similar in my mind to the Henry McKenna that was definitely a bourbon you could get on the shelf. This was less than 3 years ago. And then that one blew up. Now it's allocated. Now it's hard to get. It has an age statement on it. But over the years, people have just have found it. So what I would say is, if you can find a bottle of this, absolutely pick up as many as you possibly can. before it goes distillery only. But then, word to the wise, I would look for some of the other deals out there that people are overlooking. And, you know, I've looked at some of them this week, like, you know, any of those Maker's Mark private selects. Those are phenomenal whiskeys that benchmark totally against Blanton's. Anytime you can get a private select, it will taste fantastic. I mean, some better than others, but really top quality. So, you know, what is the brand that's on the shelf now that's going to be allocated in the future, that's going to go away? You know, look for those and do a little bit of your own tasting and thinking when you're out there, because you know, good is good. And at the end of the day, this was a great whiskey, and sad to see it go, but glad I'm drinking it today. All right, cheers.